Yeah, yeah. Adele song. Willie
That was-
Nelson.
No. Maybe he sang it, but
No, he wrote it.
no, Bob Dylan wrote it.
Oh, Bob Dylan wrote it. There you go. Are you gonna sing it like that?
Hey, I got a good joke.
Oh, good. You got it. I like it. Good morning. Peace be with you.
Also with you.
Very good. Welcome to Unity Spiritual Center, Georgetown. We're so glad that you are here today and that you've joined us this morning for this time that we spend together. I want to welcome the people who are online. I know we usually have, there's some regulars that are online every week, and so I'm going to say hi to them. I don't know if my Canadian friend Jeannie's here, there or not, but if she is, Jeannie, Mag, I know who's there, Mary usually, and other people, Daniel. My wife found it today because she's at home. They had a bridal shower yesterday for Marisa. So we come together on Sunday mornings for the purpose of recharging our spiritual batteries because they can get pretty drained. It's like you're going uphill. You know, when you're going uphill, it takes a lot of energy and you use a lot of the battery. It's kind of like that. Yeah. So Sunday morning, we get a chance to come together and recharge ourselves and refocus ourselves and recenter ourselves and think about what are we doing in this place? What are we here to do? And that is, of course, to elevate the conscious, to help, to be pond scum. If you remember that video from Everything is Connected, the pond scum, millions and millions of years ago, these tiny little organisms, they were the only thing around. And these tiny little organisms, they had, like, I don't know, what, a 3-day lifespan or something? What they did was they would exhale oxygen in these small little tiny pieces. And over millions of years, these tiny little pond scum created our atmosphere so that bigger life could exist in the future. And when we saw that video, you know, the question came up, you know, they might have lived for 2-3 days and just thought, well, I lived, I died, and I didn't do anything. Didn't really have any effect, didn't seem like. And yet, and the video says, they had no clue of what they were creating for the future. And maybe that's the way we are. So we're trying to do what we can to send out this loving, healing energy into the world because someday it'll be a bigger picture. And that's our part. So we do this together by focusing our energy on Sunday morning, and we sing together, and we laugh together, and we pray together, and we affirm together, and we learn. That's a really thing I really like about Unity. I think I've said it before. First time I went to Unity, came back home, told my wife, the strangest thing happened. What? I went to church and learned something. Who does that? And that's part of it because we are truly evolving. And today I'm going to introduce you to somebody you've never met before. His name is Jesus. But I've got these other things. I mean, I'm always collecting things. And I was telling Carrie this morning, see, Carrie, you're getting sophisticated because now you can tell people, well, what is unity? You can say, it's a postmodern understanding of Christianity. There you go. So we're going to see a postmodern view of Jesus this morning. So unity is a positive path for spiritual living. We have tools, practical tools that you can use to further your unfolding as we go through these stages of development. And we've been talking about that. And I'm going to try to tie in a little bit of that with this book that I did a couple of years ago, because now we're seeing things differently. And so it's all coming together and evolving into a bigger picture for all of us. Now, we don't have any creeds or dogmas, but we do have 5 principles that guide our philosophy. And once a year, I try to go through all of them, each one of them individually, because that's really the foundation of what it is that we teach here at Unity. So welcome once again, and I have to say that our fundamental practice is being in the present moment, and our fundamental belief is in oneness. And that oneness is what sets us in a different direction in our understanding of things. For now, I want you to join me in our mission statement. We are a thriving spiritual community, like you mean it, inspiring and empowering individual and global transformation as exemplified by the life and the teachings of Jesus. Once again, welcome Unity Spiritual Center Georgetown, a spiritual breath of fresh air. Our announcements.
Good morning, postmodern pond scum. Is that what it was? If you're here for the first time, we would like to extend a special welcome. If you are comfortable, please raise your hand or stand so that we can say hello. Oh. Well, good morning. Would you like to tell us your name? My name is Meryl. Welcome, welcome. Hi, Meryl. And? Hi, Sharon. Welcome to both of you. And you found us when we weren't sure where we were going to be, so thank you.
Next week we're back at the other place, by the way.
Thank you for being here, and there are welcoming packages on one of the tables. We would like for you to fill out the information and would hope that you would make Unity Spiritual Center Georgetown your spiritual home. A big thank you to Kathy Harrell for bringing the special, see if I say it right, Dia de los Muertos cake. Due to some miscommunication, which was mine, we were doing it today, although the newsletter says tomorrow. So it's a wonderful cake, and she went to a great deal of effort in making it look like our Dia de los Muertos. Thank you, Kathy. Well, I guess this is the birthday time, right, Dan?
Oh, yeah.
Dan.
Who's
November birthdays?
Anybody?
Well, yes.
Okay.
All right. Yes.
All right. Go
Dan.
ahead, Dan. Hit it. Birthday.
Oh,
Please check in at the door.
happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you.
I hope we don't scare anybody with all the fun that we have.
The prayer chaplains invite you to take part in a daily vigil of prayer with the intention of healing and harmony for USCG. We will hold this intention every morning from 8 to 8:15 and at added time of noon to 12:15 p.m. for those who find 8 a.m. a little too early. Please join your positive energy with ours as we know together that only love prevails. We have been notified of funeral service information for Art Talamantes, a former member of Unity Georgetown who passed on October 22nd. A visitation will be held on Tuesday, November 5th at 10 a.m. in the chapel of Ramsey Funeral Home on Williams Drive. Following visitation will be a graveside service at 1 p.m. at the Central Texas State Veteran Cemetery in Killeen, and a light reception at the Tiffany Lounge inside the Hacienda on Del Webb Boulevard. More information of Art's life can be found on the Ramsey Funeral Home website. Let's Get Metaphysical returns this Wednesday, November 6th at Legacy Hills Park. Whether he's awake sometimes and sometimes he's not.
I'm on top of it.
If you want to get the videos, I have most of your emails already, but there's my card there. Send me your email, and I'll send you the videos this afternoon sometime, and Wednesday you will look at them. And we need to work a legacy. It's really kind of fun discussion.
Weather permitting at 9:30 a.m.
We'll just get under the pavilion.
Oh, there you go. Bring a chair. The Board of Directors has called a special meeting as prescribed by the USCG bylaws, Section 5.2, to review its decision not to renew Reverend Tommy's contract for 2025. All are welcome to attend, regardless of your membership status. It will be held here in the atrium on Friday, November 15th, from 4 to 5:45 p.m. The original date change was specifically requested by UWM. The book club will meet on Tuesday, November 26th at 10 a.m. in the conference room that's across from the farmer's market. Plan to stay for lunch afterwards across the street at the city market. We are continuing with Love Without End study guide available on Amazon. Our own musician extraordinaire, Dan,
That's the Blue Daniel waltz.
Blue Daniel, okay. Dan will be having a concert at the Oaks on December 8th. We'll be having a potluck to start right after the service. We'll also be holding a cookie exchange on December 15th. We are still calling for volunteers. Please consider helping out during a Sunday service, and thank you. Please be sure to check out our newsletter sent every Friday morning. We post the Unity Daily Word on Facebook and Instagram every morning, as well as a daily prayer break at noon.
Well, as you know, we like to start the service with a little bit of laughter, because it is the best medicine. I keep hearing it over and over. And so Dan tells me he has a joke this morning. So, all right, Dan, you're up the bat.
What's new, huh? Okay, so this guy Jerry was going to this church, and the church badly needed a paint job on the exterior. And the stewardship committee put out notice that they're taking bids for anyone that would like to be hired to paint the church. So Jerry was a painter, and he needed the work, so he put in a really low bid so he could get the job. And he got the job. Then he went to the paint store to get the paint for the painting the church, and he realized he way underbid. And he wasn't going to have enough money to buy enough paint to paint the church. So he had an idea, and that was he would buy half as much paint as was required, and he would pour water in it to water it down and make it go further. So he did that, and he does a great job. The church looks great. He finishes it in one day, and just as he's finishing, there's a big storm coming up. So he packs up and goes home, and he's laying awake. You know, this thunderstorm is coming over, and he's, oh, God, I hope everything's going to be all right with the paint. And he gets there the next morning. All the paint's been washed off the church. And he just starts sobbing, and he gets down on his knees, and he pours out his heart to God, and he says, I don't know what to do, God. I have cheated the church. I painted it with this watered-down paint, and it's all gone, and I'm ruined. I don't know what to do. And this voice from above says, repaint and thin no more.
Open the eyes of my heart, Lord. Open the eyes of my heart. I want to see you. I want to see you. Open the eyes of my heart, Lord. Open the eyes of my heart. I want to see you. I want to see you, to see you high and lifted up, shining in the light of your glory. Pour out your power and love as we sing, holy, holy, holy. Open the eyes of my heart, Lord. Open the eyes of my heart. I want to see you. I want to see you. Open the eyes of my heart, Lord. Open the eyes of my heart. I want to see you. to see you high and lifted up, shining in the light of your glory. Pour out your power and love as we sing, holy, 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 holy. I want to see you.
Okay, we're having a little technical difficulty.
Let's go with that.
Okay, thank you. All right, it is now time in our service to begin with the ringing of the crystal bowl. As we go through today and this week that's coming up, which is a very important week in our lives, in the lives of our community and of our country, let us be kind. Let us see the very best for everyone. Knowing we are all one, let us remember love is the answer.
Today's daily word is seasons. Throughout the seasons of life, my Christ light shines brightly. The inspiration for today's daily word comes from Genesis chapter 1, verse 14. And God said, "Let there be lights in the dome of the sky to separate the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and years." When winter follows the autumn harvest and the sun's light grows weaker, what may resemble barren land is actually a time of rest, a preparation for a new cycle of seasons. The sun's light and warmth change in ways that perfectly suit each season. My life, like the planet Earth, moves through seasons, the awakening of wonder in childhood, exciting and sometimes stormy growth during adolescence and early adulthood, the achievements of my middle years, and the fulfillment that maturity can bring. The Christ presence, the divine light within me, is my unfailing source of strength, understanding, and comfort in every season of life. Please read the affirmation with me twice. Throughout the seasons of life, my Christ light shines brightly. Throughout the seasons of life, my Christ light shines brightly.
And now it is time in the service to light the candles of divine order, mind, idea, and expression. Divine mind is all around. It is that field of infinite possibilities. And within that field, there are divine ideas. And as we have a thought, that idea comes into our inner self. And we have the choice. We can take this divine idea and we can manifest it through the expression. If we choose not to take this idea, it doesn't mean it's not there. It's there for someone who is really waiting for that idea. So be that expression of divine love that is within and around all of us. And now it's time for another song. Oh, I am so sorry. Yes. Okay, if you will repeat with me the prayer of intention. Living Spirit opens our minds, opens our hearts, touches us all deeply with love, and sends us out as agents of love, agents of peace, agents of justice. Amen. Since we don't have any children today, I want you to open your mind, that curiosity of a small child. Be here to absorb all the goodness, to take it with you throughout this week. Let that inner child be. Let them out to play.
Am I strong enough to bear the burdens that sometimes come living this thing called life? Am I wise enough to make the right decisions when I'm standing at the fork in the road? Sometimes I wonder and ponder, only to realize that I'm not alone, and there's nothing I have to do on my own. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has his being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has his being. I am the place where God shows up. Will I have enough to do the things I need to do to take care of myself? Will I have the health of mind and body to live a life of grace and wholeness? Sometimes I wonder and ponder, only to realize that I'm not alone, and there's nothing I have to do on my own. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has his being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has his being. I am the place where Let's repeat that again. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has his being. I am the place where God shows up. One more time. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up.
true. I am the place where God shows up. If we would just remember that every day. I am the place where God shows up. And if you will repeat with me our statement of being, there is only one presence and one power active in the universe and in my life, God the good, omnipotent. Our vision, centered in God, we co-create a world of love, peace, and abundance. Now, more music.
In this moment, in this place, I remember who I am, letting fear and worry fall away from me. I open my eyes and see there is only love. There is only love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. When I lose myself, when it seems I've lost my way, then I go inside and quiet my mind. I can hear Spirit gently say, there is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love.
And as we come to the time for our community prayer, let us be peaceful. Let us know that yes, there is only love, and that we are that vessel. And our purpose is to be that love. So if there's any situation or any person that needs that extra healing at this moment, bring their names either silently or quietly within to this circle of prayer. For we know before our prayer was even uttered that it has been heard. And we trust and have faith that all is well. And so we now end this time of community prayer with an ancient prayer that's been handed down to us through the centuries, the Lord's Prayer.
Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven.
Today, for our spiritual practice, you know, there is a saying that what you teach is what you need to know. And today I'm basing the spiritual practice. It's a little book. In fact, it's called The Little Book of Inner Peace. I'm needing some inner peace at this time. And the first quote that's in this book is from Ralph Waldo Emerson. And it says, "What lies behind us and what lies before us are tiny matters compared to what lies within." What is inner peace? It can be bliss. It can be serenity. It can be inner calm. It can be spontaneous, especially if you're enjoying a peaceful moment, being immersed in the beauty of nature. At other times, it can be elusive and hard to find. At this time in our lives, we seem to be inundated with stressful situations, family, politics, friends, community, and world conflict. The good news is that inner peace is not a fleeting condition, but a natural state of calmness that resides within us. Deep inner peace is a response to life, a compassionate, grounded awareness, even in the face of chaotic experiences. It is a state of freedom from external conditions. Now, we can use simple practices to connect to this deep inner peace. And let's see, I have another little quote here for you. And this is by an anonymous. "Peace. It does not mean to be in a place where there is no noise, trouble, or hard work. It means to be in the midst of those things and still be calm in your heart." Now, one of the techniques that I think a lot of us have heard, I know most of us heard about, some of us practice, is called heart coherence breathing. And this comes from HeartMath. So I want you to place your left hand on your heart. And usually I'll just take the other and caress it. You can just leave it down. You can leave it in your lap however you want to. Now I want you to breathe in slowly. And then breathe out slowly. And let's do that one more time. Let's breathe in slowly. Breathe out slowly. Do you see how you immediately calm down? And so once you've done this, all you really need to do to have this feeling come back is just touch your heart. 2 fingers, whatever. Anytime you're stressful, just touch your heart. And it will bring you back into that inner peace. Now, another technique is called the serenity symbols. And you do it with your thumb and your fingers. And they're Sanskrit words, and they promote focus, clarity, and balance. So with the first finger, it's Sa, which means birth, Ta, which means life, Na, which means destruction, Ma, regeneration. So you can do that with one hand, and then add the other. See, now you've really got to focus. So you're doing it together. So that takes your mind off of whatever it is that's been worrying you and brings you back into that natural state of calm. And then there are also power words. This too shall pass. Nothing is permanent. There's always change. And it's how we react to that change that makes the difference. Now, most of us have heard of meditation. And I, for one, sometimes have a very difficult time with meditation. Calming down, getting really still and stuff. But there's an easy one called the ABC meditation. And A stands for awareness, where you notice the environment around you. And you feel calm, and you use non-judgmental awareness. You just sense the sounds. You hear the sounds that are going on. It may be traffic in the background. It may be birds singing. But just notice them. Notice the temperature of your skin. Are you warm? Are you cool? Is there a breeze that's flowing against you? Tune into the smells. What are you smelling? If you're outside, you may be smelling your beautiful flowers that are planted. Or you may be cooking something and you smell that wonderful aroma of nourishing food. Feel whatever you're sitting on. Is it comfortable? Is it hard? Is it soft? Be aware of how your body feels. Where am I holding tension? So now that you've done this, you just simply breathe. And you just simply feel and listen and watch as your attention on your breath draws you inward and prepares you for getting to your center. Then we have the core. So we've had A and B, now we have C. Begin imagining a white and gold column of light coming down from above the ground, coming in, filling up all of your body, going down the core into Mother Earth, deep into Mother Earth. So now you are connected to heaven and earth. Feel that warmth of that energy. Connect with it. Allow yourself to merge with this center and connect to that light and energy that is around you and through you. Now we can also do acceptance. And there are some affirmations that you can do for this. Of course, we all know, let go, let God. How often do we do that? I'm in control. No, I'm not. I go with the flow of life. I accept life as it flows in, around, and through me. Now, a lot of people have heard of tapping. Tapping is a very simple thing that you can do anywhere. You can do it at your desk, you can do it in your car, and there's major parts that you tap on. You start with your inner eyebrow, then you go to the outer eye, and then you just tap under the eye, under the nose, center of the chin. Take both hands to do your sternum, so you get both. Now, there are some other points that you can tap on and everything, but I love this one too. You know, when you're a baby, your mama picks you up and she holds you and she caresses you. Take your hands and cross your chest with them and then just rub up and down. Feel that calmness just go through you, that memory of love and affection. Now, if you've been sitting for a while, and this is something you can do also with your work, or you've just been standing, maybe you've been standing cooking and stuff, and you know, your back's kind of achy and whatever. There is a stretch that is based on the 4 directions that the Native Americans use in a lot of their traditions. And so if you stretch up, then this is you're doing for above. If you go to the right, now you're honoring the east. And if you go to the left, now you're honoring the west. And then you can drop down and honor the earth below. Just a simple little thing, but it takes your mind off of what you're worrying about, what's stressing you out. And of course, there's always gratitude. Gratitude, morning before you even get out of the bed, will set the tone for how your whole day goes. And at night, it eases your mind so that you can go into sleep and have a restful, wonderful night. And there is a quote, gratitude, and this is by Mark Twain. I've suffered a great many catastrophes in my life. Most of them never happened. Most of them never happened. Yeah. And of course, there's always that wonderful thing called a smile. Try it sometimes when you're in a line at the grocery store. Usually, there's a mother and she's got, kids hanging on her. Mommy, I want this piece of candy and, I want that. And he hit me. So, and that poor mother is stressed to the max. Just take time to give her a big smile and see how that lightens her day. And I have one more quote. We shall never know all the good that a simple smile can do. Peace begins with a smile. Mother Teresa. So, these are just a few. There are so many others. But take the time to go to that place within, to calm down, especially if you're having an argument with someone or a disagreement. Just take those few moments to look inside, calm down. You may speak your truth, but speak it in a kind manner. For we are all one. We are all children of God. We all deserve respect and love. Have a wonderful week. And now we're going to take a few minutes to go into meditation. Just let some of this sink in. Meditate on something that brings you joy, that lights you up. And Dan will bring us back with his beautiful music.
day as it is. Go inside to find my God. I will leave this day as it is. Go inside to find my God. Inside there is peace. Inside there is joy. Inside there is more than enough. Inside there is peace. Inside there is joy. Inside there is sacred love. I will leave this day as it is. Go inside to find my God.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Donna Sue, for putting us in that wonderful frame of mind. As you know, I have an insatiable appetite for learning. That's why I'm a philosophy major. And when I grew up Catholic, but when I came to Unity, I wanted to learn everything that I could about how not only the Unity movement came to be, but Christianity itself. What could I possibly learn? And so I took all these great courses, and I've just done so much study, and then I've come across books like this one. And that's what today's lesson is, Meeting Jesus Again for the First Time. It is a book by Reverend Marcus Borg. He is a biblical scholar and a distinguished professor of religion, or was, at Oregon State University. I did this lesson on August 7th, 2022. I don't know how many of you were here that day or remember anything about it, but whether you were or not, it doesn't matter. Because the point is, the person you were on August 7th, 2022, and the person you are today is not the same person. We have covered a lot of concepts since I've come to Georgetown, and many of you have mentioned to me that it has brought you a much bigger worldview. And that makes me feel good, because that's what I came to do, to help you open up new doors of understanding. I do know that a lot of you here are fairly new, and some have never been here, and you've never heard this lesson. But even if you have, you're hearing it from a higher elevation, because you have changed. Traditionally called what? From the mountaintop. I've said it over and over. We learn through repetition. And who knows, maybe this time around, it'll just strike some new chord in you. I know that I've been hearing these same ideas over and over for years now, and I still find new ways of seeing them, because it's all in your attitude. You can always see something new in everything. We're always learning, but at the stage that we are now, most of you are in now, we're no longer talking about just learning. Now we're getting into the thing where we're talking about mastering, about becoming masters of the way. And the way was the original name of the group that Jesus founded, the Way. And we're getting to that point now, we're right at the edge where, some of you anyway, that you want to start emulating the master. And I think we learned that from the Martha and Mary story. That third element, the Jesus consciousness in it. So today we're going to see the master in a new light, from a new perspective, from a postmodern, borderline, frontier stage. See, if I had said that a year ago even, you're going to, what's a postmodern? See, now you know. So that's my segue from the lessons that I have been doing before about integral theory. So let me ask you a question. What do you recall about this postmodern stage of unfolding that most of us are in? What comes to your mind? The first thing that comes to my mind, because there's a lot, is that what we get from the Transcendentalists, from Ralph Waldo Emerson and them, which is individualism, also called pluralism. And in that model, the one is expressing as the infinite many. We are fractals of that oneness. And this is an empowering message that we have because it tells us that we are the captains of our own ships, the masters of our own fate. So you see, in that old worldview that we had before, we were passengers in the back seat. In the postmodern stage of understanding, we're in the driver's seat. You're driving. In short, we take to heart that we are truly created in the image and likeness of God, and that makes us free agents with creative power to express anything that we want. So in this postmodern stage, we make the bold claim that we construct our own reality through our thoughts, through our beliefs. And the Master Jesus said it himself, "Be it done to you as you believe." And in this model, no one can save us from ourselves except ourselves. And so Jesus becomes the great example, not the great exception, because as Reverend Smith said in the Integral book, if Jesus is a great exception, then that leaves us on the outside looking in. We can never be that. We also learn that the cultural creatives, which most of us are in that stage of, only comprise 5 to 10% of the entire planet. And I'm going to go closer to 5 than to 10. But the good news is that it doesn't take very many to switch the light switch, to turn on the lights to this hitherto dark world. And we're getting close. We really are. Wilbur, in that interview, said that it only takes about 8 to 9% to change everything for everybody. I told the people at LGM, I have a little saying, that each of us carries a flashlight with us. And when we come to this understanding, we turn on our flashlights. And when enough of us have turned on our flashlights, even the ones whose flashlights aren't on can see. And that's what that idea is about. So this book and the subsequent book, which I guess I'll do next time, which is called Reading the Bible Again for the First Time, are asking us to see Jesus and the Bible from this new higher stage of development. This is why I thought it was a good time to bring this book back into the picture, because it is helping in our spiritual unfolding. So before I get any further, I want to ask you something. I want you to just close your eyes for a second and imagine Jesus. And what is it that you see, that image of Jesus? And now open your eyes. Is that what you see? I'm going to go with probably not. But you know now, this picture came out recently, the last few years, with DNA testing and all the imaging and all these people to do forensic stuff, all this stuff. They come up with this picture that Jesus probably looked like that, because he was a Jewish man from Palestine. And that's not the image that we have. Switch over. We have something like this. He looks like a California surfer. Yeah, no, he does. Good-looking guy, I gotta say, but. But the point I'm trying to make, go ahead and switch it to the guys. I'm gonna leave you this image in your mind the whole rest of the time. The point I'm trying to make is that not only do we need to change our mental, spiritual understanding of Jesus, we have to change our physical image of Jesus as well if we are to concern ourselves with truth. What I'm saying is that we need to get the entire old story, old imagery out of our heads. It's holding us back. We've got to change the way that we see things. Right, Dolores? Both metaphysically and literally. So before starting, again, I want to add something to Reverend Borg about him. He was a member of the the Jesus Seminar. I kind of raised it at LGM. Who knows what the Jesus Seminar is? Anybody? A few, very few. Okay, the Jesus Seminar was a group of about 150 scholars and laymen who met for twice a year for 15 years for the sole purpose of trying to determine how much of the words attributed to Jesus in the Bible were really words of Jesus. And they had a color coding system. Probably didn't say it, maybe said it, probably didn't say it, definitely didn't say it. And they're scholars, and there's ways to understanding this. I don't know what they are exactly, and so they color coded everything. And so Reverend Borg, the reason I like the book also is because I just got through that integral stage that we went through about that book. And his life very much is an example of how he has developed through those stages. And I think many of us have as well. Now, to be clear, most people don't go through all those stages, that you don't see them in one lifetime. It takes, to me, lifetime upon lifetime upon lifetime to get that far. And because the process of a flower blooming is not something that happens spontaneously. There's a lot of growth beforehand. And I think that holds true as well in this case. So the first thing I want to say about this book is that, and it was the central message, it is the central message, and it was a central message last time, and as if you remember, there are two Jesuses in the Bible. Yes? You know what they are? The historical Jesus. That's the one that the Jewish seminar, the Jesus seminar, I keep saying Jewish, Jesus seminar was in search of. And that was about Jesus the man, the prophet, the teacher, the way shower. He was a man. Now, we know very little about this historical Jesus, and he refers to him as the pre-Easter Jesus. The other Jesus is the post-Easter Jesus, known traditionally as the Christ of faith. So we have the historical Jesus and the Christ of faith. The Christ of faith is the Jesus of mainstream Christianity. And right out of the gate, he addresses the question about Jesus and his life. He asks three questions. Who was he? What was his mission? And what was his message? We're all familiar with the traditional answers. He was the divinely begotten, only Son of God. What was his mission? To die for the sins of the world. What was his message? Tradition tells us that it was about himself, his identity as the Son of God, and his saving purpose of his death, and the importance in believing in him. That is how the old story is told and understood. That's what Christianity believes and teaches. There's 400 plus denominations, and they all teach that. Now, during our time here together, we have learned that that wasn't the message of Jesus at all. That was the message of Paul. There's 27 books in the New Testament, and 16 are either written by Paul, attributed to Paul, or about Paul. And Paul never talks about Jesus. Paul had his own theology. He speaks only of the Christ of faith. And according to Reverend Borg, and now this is very strange, and it was in the newsletter, you caught this, very strange when I read this. According to Reverend Borg, he says that the traditional view of Jesus as the Christ of faith, the only Son of God who died for the sins of the world, was a view Jesus himself would have found foreign. Isn't that strange? Foreign. Why? Can you imagine somebody telling Jesus, Jesus, you must believe in Jesus to be saved and be born again and all stuff. And Jesus said, who told you that? He said, Jesus did. He said, I never said that. That's not what I said. But see, many people believe that the Gospels were written by people who were walking around with him, writing down notes or something, and that's not true at all. We don't even know who the authors are. So we don't know very much about the historical Jesus because there's nothing objective out there to read. It's all subjective material. And what we can know a little bit of is that Jesus was an eschatological, which is an end times preacher, who taught about the new king, the coming kingdom. And we find this in the oldest gospel, which is Mark. So it's a hard thing to do. But in the end, the author says that whatever Jesus you're looking for in the Bible, you will find. And why is that? because we are living our consciousness. And we only see what we see, capable of seeing. Remember that saying? We don't see the world as it is. We see the world as we are. So if you're in a stage, now you understand stages. If you're in that tribal warrior stage and you're seeking a savior in the Bible, then that's the Jesus you will find. If you're in a postmodern stage, then you're going to find a different Jesus. And the Integral book has helped me, and I think maybe some of you understand this view. It is a very different thing. In this view, even heaven is different. Heaven is not somewhere. It is everywhere. We are fish in water. That's what heaven is. It's everywhere in us and around us. It's this energy. And this is the beginning of coming to this stage of understanding. And it tells us also that this new stage, this postmodern stage, helps us to rid ourselves of elements of inconsistency, exclusivity, judgment, and retribution. Those aren't the ways of God. They're just not. In other words, it removes all the contaminants that cloud the only commandment Jesus ever gave us, love. That is the only one. So I told you that Borg's life kind of describes how many of us have gone through the journey. So I'm going to real quickly end this with that kind of a description of that little short little journey. He begins in his childhood, which we would say was a tribal period. He says, by the end of childhood, the ingredients of the popular image of Jesus were in place. As a child, I was taught Jesus was the only Son of God. Jesus was divinely begotten man, Son of God who died for the sins of the world and whose message was about himself, his saving purpose, and the importance of believing in him. And then he says, then I got to my adolescent stage. That's the warrior stage, when we start bucking the system, right? When we're in that teen stage. He says, in my early teens, I began to have doubts about the existence of God. It was an experience filled with anxiety, doubt, and fear. I still believed enough to be afraid of going to hell. And we know people like that because of my doubts. But I was experiencing a collision between the modern worldview and my childhood beliefs. And then he gets into his college years. And now he really starts questioning everything. But he runs across this professor who came out of PhD in religion, and he offered new ideas that kind of sparked his imagination. Said, wow, really liberating ideas. But he said, that really destroyed my earlier understanding of everything. So now he was really confused. So what does he do? He goes to seminary, of course. What we all would do. So what happened, he says that he had abandoned all his old beliefs, but he had nothing to replace them with. And I keep saying that all the time. That a lot of the young people now are going through that. That old belief, those old stories, it doesn't work for them anymore. But they don't have anything to replace it with. They don't know about unity. So they go from one extreme to the other, from thinking that's nonsense to there's nothing to make any sense of. That there's nothing. And I said, no, wait a minute. That's throwing out the baby with the bathwater. There is some sense to be made of things here. The interesting thing, he says that even in seminary, he learned that all this stuff that he had been learning was just not true. And he continues that this is taught in even traditional seminaries. But for some reason, when they come out, we go back to the same message again. So it's interesting that we have come through all these changes. And we have learned that every stage has its healthy and unhealthy aspect of it. And our key is to try to find that healthy part of it and keep it and move on to the next stage and so forth. So to wrap up this whole summary of Jesus from this book, he said there's two key words that enable us to glimpse at what was truly central to the message of Jesus: spirit and compassion. He says for Jesus, compassion was the central quality of God, compassion. Then he tells us that in Hebrew and Aramaic, the word compassion is a plural, and the singular translation is womb, a womb. The feeling of a mother and a child in her womb, or that feeling that we are brothers and sisters who come from the same womb. In other words, that idea of this oneness that we are. And that's what he was really teaching us, that we were all one. And just consider right now, for humanity and all this craziness that we're going through, but 80% of the population doesn't see it, is that we share, what is that womb that we all share together right now? It is Mother Earth. And we even call her Mother, because we truly are all brothers and sisters in this one place. That was the core idea of Jesus. The other central one, which is really big, and I was talking to Carrie about it, was the idea of having the experience of God. And he says there, you come to a point where you're no longer about believing, it is about experiencing it. Experiencing this thing that is God in your life. So try practicing on that. Try seeing everything from those eyes. This is a difficult message for a lot of people, because when it says that the gate is narrow, that's what that means. That you've got to really get focused and drop all this craziness and focus on that one, on that thing, on that essence, that presence that is around us. And so back to the original question, now from the postmodern stage. Who was Jesus? What was his mission? And what was his message? We have a different one. Who was he? He was the great example. What was his mission? To demonstrate our true potential. Because he said, the works that I do, you will do as well. Why? Because we're all one. And we're all one in the same thing. And we all have the same potentiality. We're just at different stages of unfolding. I think that's what we're getting from all of this. And what was his message? What I just said, oneness. And we will all know this. We will know this truth, and it will set us free when we rise to that level of understanding. And a good place to start is to practice finding the good in everything.
Thank you for that. Look for the good in everything. Look for the people who will set your soul free. It always seems impossible until it's done. Look for the good in everyone. People done gone crazy. People done gone mad. People done forgot the superpowers we all have. We were born to love, not hate. We can decide our fate. Look for the good in everyone. Let's celebrate our mistakes. If there's a silver lining, silver lining, you still have to find it, find it, find it. Look for the good in everything. Yes, look for the people who will set your soul free. It always seems impossible until it's done. Look for the good in everyone. Everyone needs sunshine. Everyone needs rain. Everyone is carrying around some kind of pain. I see who you are. You're just like me. You're searching for your purpose, deciding by a dream. I see who you are. I'm just like you. I forget sometimes my purpose and what I came here to do, but I keep on trying.
Keep on trying.
When it gets frightening, look for the good in everything. Oh yeah, look for the people who will set your soul free. It always seems impossible until it's done. Look for the good. Look for the good. Look for the good in everyone. Everyone is nature, everyone is God, everyone is love and light and vibration. Look for the good, look for the good. Everyone gets mad sometimes and maybe they should. Look for the good, look for the good. Hey, look out for all the heroes in your neighborhood. Look for the good. Look for the good. Yeah, life would soon be sweeter if everybody would look for the good in everything. Oh yeah, look for the people who will set your soul free. It only seems impossible until it's done. Look for the good. Look for the good. Look for the good in everyone.
Jason Mraz song. He's awesome. Now comes the time in our service when we offer our gifts and our tithes to this community so we can continue to do the work of being good little pond scum and spreading love to this planet. So we take our tithes in our hands and together we say, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I give in love, and I trust God.
Everything I see, everything I do is blessed by your hand, God. I give it back to you. Everything I give, every thought that's true is magnified in kind, God. I'll give it back to you.
Join me in our offering dedication. We bless and dedicate these tithes and offerings as an expression of divine love, and we release them to manifest that love in our community and in our world. And we bless the children of the world, and we bless the entire world. We love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the Christ you are. And this week, we add the United States of America to that we might have a wonderful and peaceful election. We affirm that that will exactly be how it is. What am I missing out on here? Listen to me. Does that look like that? Listen to me. So, reminders. Today, our chaplain is Donna Sue. There's some cake there if you'd like to have that on your way out or whatever. And what else is there to remind us of? LGM, I'll see you on Wednesday. And those are all the people that participated in today's service. We want to thank you all for being here today. We want to welcome the new people. I hope you had a joyful. Yes, the cookies. On the way out, please. So I think that's it. So let's rise and finish with our peace song.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. Is God as creator, family all are we. Let's walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. Let every step I take, let this be our joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
Like you mean it, the light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. I am light, I am love, I am power, I am presence, I am. Have a blessed week. We'll see you at the Oaks next week. Yay.